everybody. It's Hope. I'm back here on Wednesday night, 6 p.m. for the main line. We're excited to have you back again this week, and we have some really exciting guests to introduce to you. We're going to talk a little bit about creating Groundswell support. So you'll learn what that means, and you'll learn all about Marijuana Matters in a second. But first, let me introduce our guests today and bring them on the stage. So first up, we have William Phresh Clarke. He's a photojournalist hailing from Norfolk, Virginia. He now resides in DC, the DMV, and his own mantra is "to live is to create, and the world is our classroom." It's guided him while attending Dillard University. This passion has helped him battle depression and has given him the strength and determination to overcome the obstacles he has faced throughout his journey. He entered the cannabis industry as a bud tender, but rose to a management role within months. His experience, knowledge, and passion has allowed him to transition into becoming a cannabis entrepreneur with launching his own CBD grooming line. And he also works as a content producer for Marijuana Matters. Also, I want to bring up Simona Wright-James. She's a Cleveland native. She's a first-generation college graduate with a bachelor's in political science from Allegheny College and a master's of science from North Carolina Central University. She's a second-generation entrepreneur who has spent the bulk of her life in the creative and social justice space, focusing on building on strengthening communities. With Marijuana Matters, Simona functions as a content and culture curator, managing their digital footprint. So thank you both, William and Simona, for being on today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the opportunity coming on the show tonight. Like I said, when you were on Weed Crush Wednesdays, it birthed our connection. So once again, thank you for having us.
Definitely. We're excited to be here.
So we can get into our presentation. Marijuana Matters. We're here to present generating Groundswell support. And pretty much what we want all the viewers to know, everybody in the world to know, is our main vision. And that's through advocacy, entrepreneurship, and education. Marijuana Matters, or M2 for short, identifies and eliminates barriers to economic opportunities in regulated cannabis markets for those disadvantaged by the marijuana criminalization. Our vision is simple: repair what's been dismantled, restore what's been destroyed, and reclaim what's been displaced.
And so obviously that's a huge undertaking, right? All of that Phresh shared in terms of our vision, right? But we definitely see a future where that absolutely exists, right? In order to make that happen, we have basically those three pillars that we want to share with you in the next few minutes. The first one being education, right? So being an education provider for us means that we are educating the cannabis consumer, the advocates, the activists, the business owners, the regulators who are in the space. We really want to be that bridge that connects anyone who considers themselves a cannabis stakeholder or just someone who interacts with the plant in some way, shape, form. And that is really the I would say one of like the cores of, again, who we are as an organization and how we show up, especially as it relates to our digital footprint.
Exactly. And our next pillar is advocacy. Ultimately, our success is determined by our ability to ensure those most harmed by the war on drugs benefit the most from its decriminalization. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody watching, us ourselves, we've been affected either by a family member, our own situations before, or just extension of, what we've been through as a people with this so-called war on drugs. And, with that, it's not enough to only look forward, right? We definitely have to look forward. We have to put in the work now, but we also have to remember, how it was and where this all came from so we can know what's going on. So policies that have led to the incarceration of millions of whom now must contend with significant penalties associated with more than 40,000 collateral consequences. So at the end of the day, we're here, just like Simona was saying, that bridge, you might hear that word a few times in the presentation. We at Marijuana Matters want to be that bridge of communication, education, and information through the corporate status and the cannabis industry to, I mean, somebody who may be working in a gray area to they need to learn what they can do to do this the right way, to, you know, somebody being locked up for what, let's say not even a dime worth of marijuana. So we're all about making sure we shift the advocacy pool.
Exactly. And, you know, I think my brother Phresh said it, you know, pretty poignantly in terms of like, who's the audience, but just to kind of offer even more like context, like all of us are impacted, right? If you are Black and brown, particularly if you are from, you know, working class neighborhood or whatever have you, you've been impacted, especially, right? Because when the brother or the sister that goes away, you know, wrongfully so behind bars for selling, like in Phresh's example, a gram or whatever have you, the whole family is impacted, right? Yep. It's the kids who no longer have their parent at home, right? And that household situation is torn apart. It's their ability to remain engaged even in school, right? There's so many ripple effects. So definitely throughout, you know, this presentation share, hopefully that comes across in terms of, again, our understanding of what the problems have been and who has been damaged, and exactly what are the solutions as we see it in terms of like how we can kind of fill in some of those gaps and some of those holes and some of the harm that has been done to our communities.
Exactly.
And definitely, you know, again, we maybe touched on this already when it comes to entrepreneurship. You know, Black and brown people have for a long time, right, operated in that gray space. What we now are we're adapting the word gray space instead of calling it like a black market or whatnot, a gray market, right, where we've been the suppliers, right, for our communities for so long. And, you know, it's a shame because, you know, notwithstanding and not going on a rant or a soapbox, but I think, you know, Black folks, for some reason, you know, well, let me start it this way. The plant has been blackfaced, right? And so to speak. So we've reaped all the negative, right, consequences of having a relationship to this plant, right? But we've been doing it withstanding, right? But now that we're at this very pivotal place, right, where we're in a cannabis, you know, prohibition phase, you know, it's a shame that, again, the same people who've been operating in it are somehow being left behind, right? So as we see it, M2 as an organization, we stand, again, in solidarity, not only to those who've been in the gray market, but those who have interest to go into the cannabis space to not be left behind, right? Cannabis shouldn't be exclusively turned into this industry or space that's only given to the white and privileged and the upper class, right? Those folks who have access to the immediate capital. It should be accessible to those who have the knowledge, who have the interest, who have the skills, and, you know, it's just so much opportunity out there in this space. So again, M2 functions as that bridge to create these opportunities or create these moments to really look at how can we exist and ensure that equity is being applied, whether it be, again, on the cultivation side, distribution, as it relates to, you know, if you're going to legalize it, let's just make sure that, again, Black and brown communities who have been negatively impacted the most are at the table, right? You know, one way to sum up, you know, our position in terms of entrepreneurship is to say, you know, nothing about us without us, right? That's an age-old, I think, phrase that's still used and that definitely applies, right, in this case.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, we can't just be consumers with this market opening up at all. And, you know, we want to make sure we can have those channels, you know, with, you know, different opportunities and the resources that we're able to establish together, you know, working together with other companies who represent the same mission, you know, gaining that alliance. So we built up the force to this fight. And, you know, that kind of goes into a big component, which is content, you know, let alone the cannabis space for for Black folks, for our people, a lot of our content doesn't really tell our story. Somebody always is telling our story, and that probably has a lot to do with the programming and the stigmas that still exist today. So we like to actually call it creating space. Here at Marijuana Matters, we want to create that space, content-wise, the 4 foot wise, just all in general. So we have many ways that we create that content. We live in a day and age of social media. So we're going powerhouse with our Instagram at the moment. So everybody definitely check us out there. But we have M2 Mondays, which is where we ask a question for our viewers and people who work in this space and people who are just interested to really say, why does marijuana matter to you? Hope, I remember, you gave a great explanation. And that's like something that we carry because, everybody has their personal story. I mean, scientifically wise, cannabis works in our bodies all completely different. We all have our own personal stories of why this plant really matters to us. It's important that we get that message out there to change these stigmas. So M2 Mondays is one of them. There's a new app that's called Stereo. And we have a new show on there called Saturday Sat Smoke with M2. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. That's actually hosted by our founder, Khadijah Tribble. So it gives the viewers to chime in and hear, with somebody who really rubs shoulders in this industry, just how she feels about things. It's kind of like, hey, meet up and let's talk to the founder type day situation and other members, either from our board or from the team and the crew.
Yeah. And I mean, we are at again, an interesting space, right? With COVID-19, the idea of sharing, that kind of experience, right, for the most part has been minimized, right, or muted or kind of done in silo. So what I love about this is just to piggyback on what Phresh just shared with the Saturday Smoke with M2, the idea is to have like this virtual sesh, right, where you can come and even if you don't engage, really, it's just about sharing space, right, and being able to be put on game about what are some of the things that's happening within the cannabis industry that you should know about. Again, no matter what your relationship is with the plant, whether it be just from a strictly consumer standpoint or as an advocate or as a regulator, whatever position you hold, right? This is an opportunity for you to come, kick back, and just hear from someone who's really an OG in it, right? She's an OG in the game. So it's a perfect opportunity to kind of be one of those people who technically you're rubbing shoulders too, right?
Yeah.
Virtual session, getting the tea or whatever, however you want to look at it. I put it in that way to be funny, but also to relate out that it's definitely an opportunity to kind of let your hair down and really get some critical information across, right? Some of the other digital resources that we have that's on screen right now, one is the We Crush Wednesday show, and that's hosted with our boys Mark and Tay. They are cannabis advocates in the space, right? And as cannabis advocates, they look forward to every single Wednesday sitting down with folks such as Hope. And those of you who are watching this, if you have not watched Hope's session of We Crush Wednesday, you're missing out because it was a great episode, and I think Phresh touched on that a little bit earlier. One of the things that really resonated with me that you said was just that you probably, many of us are, interacting with the plant and may not even realize that it's filling a medical need, right? That it's actually responding, right? Again, Phresh, that it's responding in our bodies in such a way that it's an uplift, and again, it's filling a void, right? As opposed to, partaking in other types of drugs that are far more harmful to your body. So again, that's my personal opinion. Definitely watch the show. You will have an opportunity to hear from folks like Hope, who again are giants in this space, right? And we all need connection, in my opinion, to a giant, whether it be it just on a digital, format, in person, or just to use as a reference, right? A guide to navigate this space, right? And this space, when I say cannabis space, it really applies to just in general in this world, right?
Mhm.
It's nice to be connected, right, to folk who know a little something about a lot of, or know a lot of something about a little something, right? You have however that phrase goes. Hopefully I didn't butcher it, but that's what Crush Wednesday show is all about, getting that bridge across, right, between the consumer advocates and those who maybe want to be in the space. The other resource that we wanted to share is the Greenlight blog. Some of you, just by hearing the words Greenlight blog, you may get the reference, right? But it is a nod to the Green Book, right? Most of us know at this point the Green Book was a resource used by African Americans when they were looking to travel, right? Looking to be tourists. It was a guide between the 30s and the 60s that allowed us to have that know-it-all to say, okay, I know I don't need to go to, whatever city. I'm gonna make up a city. I don't know, McDonald Land. I don't know. I don't need to go to McDonald Land because I know they don't really bump with African Americans. I know that if I go there, it's a good chance that I'll encounter racism, right? That I'll encounter discrimination. So with the Greenlight blog, and again, you can find that on our website. You can go right now, even, go ahead and open your second tab, go ahead and bookmark that joint, marijuanamatters.org, and you'll see a section that says Greenlight blog. And, not for nothing, not just saying it because it's, it's a tribe member, but Deanna, I mean, she's a phenomenal writer.
Amazing.
Right. And she's given all these gems, I feel like, to really just help us navigate, what it means to be in this space. So again, we are not left behind, right? I can't emphasize that enough. So most certainly stay in touch with us in that way, right? Get to know us in that way. Read the Greenlight blog, ask questions, provide feedback, and reshare it. Because again, this is all information that it's important, and it's also time sensitive.
Yeah, I mean, we know like most of the time this information doesn't get to us. And a lot of times we don't even know how to go about where can we get it? Like, where do I need to search? So us creating this space is doing that for our community and anybody who wants to be a part of this movement in this community.
Exactly.
And that, so before I move forward tonight, it is Wednesday. So we do have a show tonight with Don Carty. So everybody, check us out. Log into your Instagram. We will be going live at 8 p.m. sharp. So it goes to our next slide, which is, how to join the M2 movement. It's pretty simple. You can do it financially, you can do it in sweat equity, and we can do it digitally. And, we can break it down for you. Financially, donate. We have different ways you can donate. We just did a Giving Tuesday run, and we had great supporters. So thank you to all of our supporters who donated. We reached a great goal in such a short amount of time. And, that's going to go straight to our End War on Drug Justice Fund. Anything that we get in donations automatically go there. Corporate sponsorships as well. All of these ways, and just flat out, giving us a helping hand. All these things go into that same fund for relief for anybody that's been affected, and for policy projects as well. Sweat equity, we have public affairs and operations as far as internships, opportunities. Simona, I think you got some information about that, don't you?
Oh, no doubt. So if you have interest at all in just contributing to the work, right? Definitely go to our page, marijuanamatters.org. You can click on the About page, and from there, go ahead and cipher down to the section that says Careers, and you'll see there are 2 listings for internships, right? Again, I think Phresh touched on it. We have the public affairs internship that's available, and then also with operations. Now is as good a time as any. Again, if you have any interest in the space, or if you're even remotely intrigued, or, your curiosity is piqued, reach out, definitely apply, because more than likely, if you're thinking about us, you should probably be with us. I'm just going to put it out like that. That's just one way to say it. But definitely those opportunities exist.
Yes. And digitally, at the end of the day, this is the easy one. People, get active with our programs. We're here to provide the content. We're here to provide the education. We're here to help be the channel to the resources. So just like Sis said, Simona, man, be active. Hit us up. Enjoy our polls and answer questions, because that's how we learn what we may actually do next. We don't want to just come from a standpoint where we're telling you what to do. We want to get the community involved and engaged so we could do this as a village. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. We need to bring that element back to how we're bringing this excellence and these resources into our communities, and to make sure it's happening with the right people, and it's got to start from us at the end of the day. We definitely touched up on all of our platforms. So once again, check out our Greenlight blog, check out the Wood Crush Wednesdays, check out our stereo show, check out and I'm gonna be honest, you guys, stay hip to what we're doing, because we growing with you. So there's there's definitely going to be more. We're definitely here for the sweat work. So that's definitely the easiest ways that you guys can join the M2 movement. And how we utilize M2 to push forward. I think me and Simona are great examples. We use our different skills to be able to get into the industry. Individuals, just know, yes, there's licenses to become owners and licenses to do things, but there's so many access points into this industry. I'm a photojournalist at heart. I'm an artist at heart. Me doing different shoots for different people led me to a job fair that got me into the industry, but I applied working in education for years, administrative stuff, my own passion and creative skills to kind of become somebody on a slow push. And being with Marijuana Matters, Khadijah Tribble prides herself on making sure that when you become a part of this movement, you have access to these resources, you have access to mentorships. Mm-hmm. You have access to actually gain the tools and the resources you need to become whoever you need to become in this space as well. I don't think I would be where I'm at without Marijuana Matters right now. When I left the dispensary, I was in a crazy space. And when I decided to start Verter, Marijuana Matters came about the same time. So, all the resources that I have and all the information that I'm learning that I didn't have, I'm able to utilize that within my business and myself right now. So, M2 utilizes all of his resources for anybody who wants to do the work for the movement.
And just real talk, just to I should say differently, to reiterate the title, right, of our presentation, Groundswell support, right? That's exactly what Phresh, he gave a nice, I think, outline of how it's worked for him, right? And so I just wanted to just bring that even more to attention as far as the title. When we say Groundswell support, it's that ability to grow, right? How do you grow that type of support within your community? And I think, what I have observed and my time span with M2 is that it happens from the inside out, right? You can't build something that you yourself aren't working toward, or you yourself don't have. And that's something that's very unique, I would say, about M2 that I personally haven't quite seen in such a real and tangible way. And probably any other, space that I've held that has been a financial, where there's been a financial relationship, or where there's been this work kind of function where, I do something that helps grow this mission or that fuels the mission. I haven't seen that, but yeah. That's the case with M2. Every single person, from Phresh sharing about his new business, his new CBD business, to Deanna's, writing savviness, my creative nature, and just curating of events. I think we've all been able to be our individual selves, right?
Yes.
But yet be a part of a tribe. And I think those aren't always mutually like exclusive or, possible, right? Some employers will want you to come on and lose your whole self, right? There's code switching, and even in this very interview, I haven't done a lot of it, but like in other spaces, oh my gosh, like, oh my goodness, like it's a standard, right? That, we have to, posture ourselves differently. We have to become that mission so much so that we lose ourselves. But the good thing about every single tribe member with M2, they get to be themselves, right? Because everybody's passionate about, helping our community heal, helping our community move forward in a way that is inclusive, equitable, and that really allows us to tap into, again, all the opportunities that exist within this space, just the same as any other industry. So I don't know if I quite touched the question, answered the question.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, what both of us are saying is that, M2 does a lot, from so many different aspects to help us grow and to help this movement grow and to help our community grow, and yeah, so that pretty much ends our presentation. We definitely want you guys to make sure you stay locked. We're growing with you all day, every day. And the best way to stay hip to what we're doing is to check out our social media outlet. Right now, you're going to catch everything on Instagram. Once we get things where we kind of want to go for 2021, you will see the Facebook and YouTube appear. But right now, we're IG heavy. So if you got an IG handle, great, follow us. If not, get one. Ask your cousin to make you one. I had to do that to somebody the other day. So it's all love. Stay hip. And thank you guys. That ends our presentation.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks, Phresh. Thanks, Simona, for that. That was awesome. It gave a very clear picture of M2 and all the work that you guys are doing right now. We thank you. I think that there are a lot of people that would love to join this movement. There are a lot of people that are interested in being in the industry, consumers that just want to be educated. And I think that, it's great to be able to do it from a perspective that, is from us. Yeah. I think that a lot of times, we're being told things from different perspectives and it's hard to relate or really understand. But when it can be told from a lens that is relatable, it's just easier to digest. So I really, really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. What is something that you didn't mention in the presentation that we can look forward to from M2 next year?
Oh man, where do we want to start with that, Simona?
I was gonna say I was deferring to you to launch off on that question.
Yeah, I mean we're in this phase right now where we want to pump our content. So definitely be on the lookout for more interactive shows. With guests and traveling to different places. Like I said, we just like you touched on, Hope, that information gap that we don't get, and when we do get it, it's not in the way that affects us and we feel. We're looking forward to do that on many ways. So different documentary programs, to also having different membership packages and different things that will go from our corporate sponsors to just anybody who's out there who wants general information. Be ready for a major M2 shift on 2021.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that you guys are established and ready to go to the next level with your initiatives. I want to also shout out your founder, Khadija Tribble, who's been like a mentor to me in the industry and has really supported me in a lot of different ways. So I really, really appreciate her. And because of her and because of all the nice things that you guys have done, I will always support M2. So please let me know how I can help in any way. And anyone who's watching, please follow them, see what they're doing. reach out, be a part of their initiatives and their programs. Their whole purpose is to come from a grassroots level, so they need your participation.
Yes.
Okay.
Well said.
Yes. No, I understand. So yeah, I'm here for you guys, and I'm definitely on board with everything you have going on.
Great.
So,
thank you. That means a lot.
No problem. Okay, so we are going to wrap up this week's episode of The Main Line, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will be back next week. If you have any topics that you are looking to see or anything that you want to know about cannabis, comment on this video. I know some of you will be watching the playback, so comment, let us know what you want to learn, who you want to hear from, professionals in the industry in Maryland or in the whole country. Let us know who you want to hear from. I'll start bringing my friends on and we'll talk about different topics, but we'll be back next week with a new topic right here, Wednesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, wherever you're watching. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.